atacados.
We were attacked. The police acted as they should, ensuring that aid could reach Otavalo.
La fuerza pública actuó como debe ser, precautelando que la ayuda pueda llegar aquí a Otavalo. Vamos a estar aquí en Otavalo.
We will remain here in Otavalo. Nothing and no one will stop us.
Nada ni nadie nos va a detener. La gente
The people are asking for this, and we are here as the government and as a force to fulfill their
pide esto y nosotros estamos aquí como gobierno y como fuerza para cumplirlo.
Who the hell was that right there? Oh, that's the police. They got all the trucks out there in Ecuador just because it says Ecuador police clash with protesters blocking highway over rise in fuel prices. It's getting ill out here. What's this? Disgusting Hamas gunmen carry out public executions.
A graphic video has shown Hamas fighters conducting a public execution of alleged Israeli collaborators. The footage here shows Hamas gunmen lining up 7 men in a public square and shooting them from behind. Hamas confirmed the authenticity of the video. The group told Reuters they will not be tolerating any violations of order in Gaza. Palestinian security sources say dozens of people have been killed in clashes between Hamas fighters and rival tribal groups in recent days.
It depends on what level you want to go down to, but you've got Hamas and allied groups who are, if you like...
well, if you trade on what do you expect's going to happen, man? What do you think this is, man? You get caught working for the enemy, you're going to get your brains blown out, man. It's very simple. It's a simple equation, man. Very simple. Chaotic scene in Chicago as federal agents swarm a neighborhood.
You got just let it rain on me like.
This is America. It's crazy seeing Esau guarded up with gas masks and with his guns. He getting ready, man. Right in your neighborhood.
Yeah, like doing that.
He's there, and the fuel prices, everything. Everything's supposedly still somewhat okay. People still go to work every day in the morning. Esau's already outside, man. He's already outside, and this is here in Chicago. This is gonna spread nationwide. And you see this? This is wicked, man. This is wicked. Scriptures tell you what these people are doing over here, especially Jake over here. You think your mouth is gonna stop them from? They just waiting for an order to put you to death. That's the only thing that's stopping them from destroying you is an order. All right, kill them. That's it. And you're as close as possible. See, someone like this, you want to be far away from from the men that have power to kill. Let me start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. I'm your brother, Rabbi Knapp, coming out with a lesson, Lord's will, edifying to the Lord's elect. Stay away from the man that, I think it's Ecclesiastics, that have power to kill. Okay. Ecclesiasticus 9 verse 13. Keep thee far from the man that have power to kill. Does that man look like he's far away from someone that can kill him? No, he's what? 7 feet away from that? So shalt thou not doubt the fear of death. And if thou come unto him, make no fault, lest he take away thy life presently. Remember that thou goest in the midst of snares, and that thou walkest upon the battlements of the city. Look at this word, battlements. parapet at the top of a wall, especially of a fort or castle that has regularly spaced squared openings for the shooting through. You walking upon the battlements of the city, man, in a war zone, and you're running your mouth. You're running your mouth. Pathetic. But that's why the scriptures tell you what? What do the scriptures tell you? Where's my chat GPT? I don't know. Let's go to, I don't know where my chat is. Oh, here it is, right in front of me. It's right in front of me. Sirach 9 verse 13 meaning. Yes. It says, keep thee far from the men that have power to kill. This is a practical and spiritual wisdom. Avoid close association with people who hold power over life and death, such as violent men, tyrants, or corrupt rulers. They can destroy life unjustly. Okay, so you should know that. So the scriptures tell you to stay away from somebody like that. This whole situation can be avoided if you have wisdom. This is all supposed to happen according to the Bible. Okay, so what are you supposed to be doing in this time? If you don't know what you're supposed to be doing in this time, you're gonna be the first one out of here. You're gonna be made the example of what not to do in these last days. Okay. Proverbs 22:24, make no friendship with an angry man, and with a furious man thou shalt not go, lest thou learn his ways. In Psalm 141-2, deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man, preserve me from the violent man. That's Esau. You want to be preserved from the violent man in order to make it on the chariots. That's what you're trying to endure something here. You don't understand that you're being punished right now here in Babylon. This is not a place to be in the spirit of the world, man. And that's the type of shit that Esau does. Like when you see an Edomite, when they talk to the police, they get belligerent. Talking shit, pulling out their camera, like they're not doing that. You know, they're under orders. They're under order. You're out of order. Okay, so you're putting yourself in harm's way. Okay, so shalt thou not doubt the fear of death. By staying away from dangerous people, you avoid living in constant fear for your life. Wisdom leads to peace and safety. I mean, even chat knows this. It's very simple. It's not really hard to break down, but sometimes, you know, we might skip over how simple it is. Just stay away from them. You know? Clearly they can put you to death, but you're so I don't even have the words for it. Just destroyed, man, or just people who just lack understanding. That's the best way I can put it. Biblically speaking, it's because of Hosea, the 4th chapter. Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. Okay, so your actions of not coming into this truth, or disobeying, or not pretty much receiving Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, that's going to get you put to death, man. That's going to get you put to death. It's Book of John, chapter 15, verse 18. If the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. And this is Yahweh Shai speaking. If ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. And that's talking about his disciples, those who receive this truth, who teach this truth. Just like the disciples, the world gonna hate you too. And the reason why is because the Lord chose you to come out of this world and rebuke this place, man. It's supposed to hate you. Get used to it. You hate this place. So it's equal, it's mutual. Now we're in order again. Now it makes sense. I don't like this world doesn't like me. Everything's back in order. John 15:20, remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will also keep yours also. Let's see what this is talking about. John 15, verse 20, meaning, I'll come back to this, Lord's will. John 15, verse 20. Remember the word that I sent unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. Hamashiach reminds his disciples of what he already told them in John 13:16. This means if the master, Hamashiach himself, suffered hatred, rejection, and persecution, then his servants, the believers, the prophets, and disciples should not expect better treatment from the world. And this is why we go through what we go through, especially dealing with Jake. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. The world's hostility toward Hamashiach will continue toward his followers. True believers will face rejection, mockery, and sometimes violence, not because of wrongdoing, but because of righteousness and truth. If they kept my saying, they will also keep yours also. This means that those who were obedient to Hamashiach's teachings will also receive and obey the teachings of his followers. In other words, the faithful who love God will recognize the truth just as they recognize Hamashiach's voice. Okay. John 15:20 teaches that followers of Hamashiach must expect the same treatment Hamashiach received, persecution from the wicked, but acceptance from the righteous. It's both a warning and a comfort. So, was he, when Yahweh Shai was on the scene, was he making war with the Romans centurions that were on the scene? There's nowhere in the Bible where you hear an account of him being belligerent against the powers that be, because he understands scripture. He understands that he was put here in this position to suffer. And he showed you how to do it. And he told you to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. And then he has in the book of Ecclesiastes, he tells you, let me grab it. He tells you all these things. What you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do. He didn't leave you comfortless. And all you got to do is walk according to the scriptures to the best of your ability. I mean, you're going to slip, slide, but you're going to be going in the right direction. Ecclesiastes 5 verse 8. Thou seest the oppression of the poor and violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province. Marvel not at the matter. So you're marveling at the matter by going out there protesting with everybody else. You're marveled at the things that are going on. You're amazed. Let's look at this word, marvel. You can't believe what's going on. To be astounded, be stunned, be amazed, be dumbfounded. You're dumbfounded that he's sending troops on the ground in America, in your neighborhood. Like, you're amazed by that. When there's people literally online making their bodies a living sacrifice to tell you that for years now that this was going to happen. Foolishness. To be astounded, to astonish yourself. You astonished yourself. What are you doing on my block? Surprise or impress someone greatly. Astonished can mean to surprise someone greatly, or it can refer to the brand of UK-based vegan-friendly cleaning products. The word is also a Pokemon move that can be used in battles. So that's what you do. Oh, Oh shit, man! It said, "Astonish is a Pokemon move that can be used in battles." So you pulling out your phone trying to catch them all. It's foolishness, man. Like, you should know that these things are gonna happen. You should know about Israel. You should know about the Bible. You know, but some of y'all are so far gone that coming into this truth, it seems like it's impossible, man. You're just fully given over to darkness, that when you're faced with the light, you can't absorb it. It doesn't reach you. You're so far gone, man. Be astounded. Be astonished at one another. And do you notice how they're not riled up by you? They're looking at you like, please give me the orders. I want to catch my first body, man. A lot of them will love that. They would love to kill you, man. That's why they sign up for these types of jobs. These are people that, you know, they probably never felt any type of respect. Okay? A lot of them, they have that type A personality. They want to rule over something. You know, some of these dudes kill their cats. They kill pigeons, and they shoot cans in the woods with black people's faces on it. They tell black jokes at bars. They got a bunch of guns. They shoot squirrels. And all of that led them up to the day where they look at you like you're a squirrel. You're a can with a image, a taped image on the front of it. You're an old lawnmower that they shoot at in the woods somewhere. You know, all those times they in the garage talking shit about Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This is what they do. It's how they're brought up. And the only way they can have power over you is if they go get a badge, armor, a gun, gas mask, and all of this shit just so they can come face you, who only got a phone. And he looks at you like you're the threat. You're the one who got a phone out. He got all the equipment on, and he look at you like you're the threat. Esau is a weird dude, man. That's why they need to be locked up. Edomites need to be in captivity. Okay? They don't know how to rule. They're the basest of men. You know, their brains are not wired right. They're stupid. They're really not smart. They're dumb. They're really, really stupid people. Look at their system that they created. It just destroys everything. It's just so, they're very dumb, very stupid, very small, very insignificant, unimportant people. Okay? And this is what the Bible's trying to tell you, man. And the Lord put them in that position. So you got to use wisdom at a very high level when you're dealing with an idiot. Because he's super carnal. And he has the power to kill. So you got to operate on, you got to have a higher level of the spirit on you to navigate this place, man. Okay. Let me go back to this real quick. Ecclesiastes 8, verse 5. What was it? So you're astounded. You're marveling at this matter. This doesn't make any sense to you. Why would this happen? You know, and you're young too. So you probably, that dude's probably 18, born in 2000 and what, 6, 7. You have no clue what's going on, man. For he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than they. So the Most High, okay, is ruling all of these people. He's higher than the highest. The highest person you probably think about is the president. Even he is just a puppet for the elite. And then on top of that, they're just a puppet for the spiritual demon Satan. And there are other demons underneath him. And even that is underneath Yahweh Shai. And even he is underneath the Most High God, Yahweh. And he, Yahweh alone, is the reason. That's the will that needs to be done down here. Okay? And you don't understand that. Okay? Sirach 19, Sirach 9 and 13. And if thou come unto him, make no fault, lest he take away thy life presently. Oh, this is a good precept. So shalt thou not doubt the fear of death. By staying away from dangerous people, you avoid living in constant fear for your life. Wisdom leads to peace and safety. Proverbs 27 and 12, the prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. You don't foresee the evil, because you be hiding yourself. None of these people foresee the evil, man. And it blows my mind. It blows my mind. You live in Chicago, for crying out loud, man. When someone pulls up with a gun, I'm out of there. I'm not asking any questions. Get your family and get them out of there. That's what I would be thinking. That's being prudent. But being more so prudent is understanding why these things are happening. Having some foresight. Let's look at this word prudent. Let's look at this word prudent. Prudent. Acting with or showing care and thought for the future. You're not doing that, whatever you are. You're not doing that. Probably a Jake, though. Of course. And if thou come unto him, make no fault, lest he take away thy life presently. If you must deal with someone who has great authority or a violent nature, be cautious and respectful. A careless word or action could bring swift punishment. And I want to hear some of your commentary. Let's see what you were saying real quick. Oh, you swearing, bro. And you think he won't do you dirty unjustly. The president already has litigation or orders or whatever, that some type of signature on a piece of paper that says he's going to back them up if they go to court, if they were sent into a specific area and something happens to you. They're going to beat that. Either way, even if they don't beat it and it takes years for it to, you going to be out of here. And if thou come unto him, make no fault, lest he take away thy life presently. Ecclesiastes 8, 2 through 5. And I just read 5. Whoso keepeth the commandments, let's go there since I have it. Ecclesiastes 2 through 5. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God, for God is in heaven and thou upon earth. Therefore, let thy words be few. For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by the multitude of words. When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he have no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. Okay. Let me grab this precept. Salakia. Let's get Ecclesiastes 5 verse 2. It says, Ecclesiastes 5 verse 2 advises against being rash with your words before God. The verse states that since God is in heaven and you are on earth, you should be deliberate and thoughtful, and therefore let your words be few. It emphasizes the importance of reverence and careful communication and prayer as opposed to rambling or hasty promises. For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by multitude of words. So yeah, a dream coming through the multitude of business. You know, you do a lot, so that affects what you're thinking before you go to sleep. Let's get that. Ecclesiastes 5:3. For a dream comes with many cares, and a fool's voice with many words. This verse is part of a larger, let me get it in here. Excessive business or worries leads to restless, troubled sleep. dreams, while a fool's speech is recognized by abundance of empty, meaningless words. And that's what you're saying. Empty, meaningless words. Okay, you're just talking shit. And it's not going to profit you at all. There's no benefit. You might as well hold your thought and get up out of there. You at a disadvantage running your mouth, showing you how much of a fool you actually are. The verse serves as a warning, particularly in the context of the preceding verses about approaching God, to be careful and deliberate with one's words and not speak rashly, as true wisdom is found in few thoughtful words rather than many foolish ones. And, you know, you're pretty much coming up against the Lord's sword. You actually rebelling against the Lord. That's what you're really doing in this situation, in this video here. He's actually rebelling against the Lord, not having the wisdom. And he tells you in, let me grab it. The Lord hates those who don't have wisdom. I can't remember it. I know it's Sirach. I forgot where. I think it's 14 maybe. 15. Where is it? I can't remember. Maybe I'm clearly saying it wrong. Or maybe it's the Lord loves those. Let me see. Those who love wisdom. No, it's right. The Lord loves who love wisdom. I can't think of the precept. I hate those who don't have wisdom. I can't. It's something like that. I can't. I know it's in Sirach. Sirach. But I can't really pop up. It's not coming to mind. I can't think of it right now. Let's see if I got it on my phone. Probably got to highlight it. It might be Wisdom of Solomon. It might be Wisdom of Solomon. Let's try that. Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon. For thou lovest all the things that are, and abhorrest nothing which thou hast made. For never wouldest thou have made anything if thou hatest it. No. I don't know. I forgot where it's at. He ain't dealing with nobody who ain't got wisdom. And by you doing that, it's going to show when he destroys your ass for doing it. And if thou come unto him, make no fault, lest he take away thy life presently. Remember that thou goest in the midst of snares. Life among powerful or wicked men is full of traps, deceit, envy, and danger. Be aware and move with wisdom. Okay, that's the point. You gotta have wisdom in these last days. You gotta know what's written, and you gotta walk a certain way. There's rules to this battle, man, and you're not prepared. This is what men are telling you by preparing you for the battle, but you ain't putting the armor on. You know, according to Ephesians, the 6th chapter, and that thou walkest upon the battlements of the city. Walking on high battlements is risky. One false step could be fatal. Likewise, dealing with dangerous men requires extreme caution. Ecclesiastes 10:8, whoso breaketh the hedge, a serpent shall bite him. Beautiful precept. You breaking that hedge when you're not walking where the Lord is telling you got to come into the strong tower. You walking outside of that. Ecclesiastes 10:8, he that diggeth a pit shall fall into it, and whoso breaketh a hedge, a serpent shall bite him. So you break the hedge, man. Esau's the serpent. He's the one that's going to bite you. Ecclesiastes 10:8 uses a metaphor of breaking a hedge to warn that reckless actions and breaking boundaries can lead to negative consequences. And the boundary that keeps you within the hedge is keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. Just as a hidden snake will bite someone who breaches a hedge, the verse is a proverb about how schemes to harm others often backfire and how disregard for rules or wisdom can result in personal danger or mischief. The serpent symbolizes unforeseen dangers and deceit that lie in wait for those who act foolishly. And you acting foolish by not operating under the law, statutes, and commandments. So lucky. I thought I saw a Palestinian flag. Just weird shit, man. This ain't the time to be pulling out flags and waving them. You're just causing more chaos, man. Nope, that's a Mexican flag. He got a Mexican flag up. Like, what's that gonna do? What are y'all doing, man? I see gray hairs, camera phones. They look like they locking Jake up. He's smiling for the camera. He's only 16. Esau is really like operating like he's in Afghanistan somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these, especially the military, they got they had tours in Afghan and shit. You know, you throwing smoke and making loud noises and shit. That puts them right back, gives them post-traumatic stress disorder, man. So you want to stay away from these type of people, man. This is the type of people that you see what was going on in these other places, man. Can imagine what the hell some of these people were doing over there, especially the Edomite man, especially if he thought he could get away with it. He got a whole Edomite crew with him. You know, people coming up to him asking for help and shit like that. Oh yeah, I'll help you. Running to the devil. And now he's on your streets. Duck just passed a law months ago, I remember, about if you had something wrong in the police records. He got rid of like mad police records pretty much. So now people who had like suspect records for disorderly conduct, for being a police officer, all that shit's erased. All that database was removed. So they can be anywhere. Any force could hire these people all over again. So now they can't even know if you're fit to be in that area. And who did that? Esau Edom did that. Because he wants it to be like that. He don't give a fuck about you. So as long as he's getting y'all so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, he's fine with it. Dude been playing Call of Duty for fucking 20 years straight. Now he's in full equipment.
To your own people, man. To your own people. To your own people.
That's not your people. You're not his people. And you're gonna learn that, man.
What's happening to your own people? To your own people, man. To your own people.
That's better. Get rid of all the visibility and shoot your ass, man. It's gonna get wild out here, man.
Fuck y'all.
Should the
Foolishness, man. Deadly fire at garment factory and chemical warehouse in capital of Bangladesh. So the hostages were freed. What's this? New video shows U.S. blowing up another Venezuelan drug boat, killing 6. They weren't even moving. Where's the proof that they were selling drugs and all of that? It's just a video game to Esau, man. Damn. Esau's fucking shit up, man. Excuse my language. Dang. That's it. Boat on fire. He blew one up. Let me look at his Truth Social, as a matter of fact. Where he put on Truth Social 36 seconds ago. President Duck, President of Peace. President Duck ended 8 wars in just 8 months. Cambodia and Thailand, Kosovo and Serbia, DRC and Rwanda, Pakistan and India, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, Armenia and Azerbaijan, Israel and Hamas. I wonder how he did that. Government still shut down 14 days later. Freedom is not a theory, it's a testimony. Every single day the Trump administration will continue to carry out the mission for Mr. Kirk. Still running that wave, huh? Delhi, Massachusetts plane crash. Madagascar's army takes over as Gen Z protesters topple another government. Gen Z protesters. So all these protests, like imagine fuel prices increasing here. The same thing's gonna happen here. Trump issues fresh warning to Hamas after returning from Middle East. Let's see this.
Tonight, tear gas deployed after another clash in Chicago during President Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration.
And that dude's in all the news today. That
Homeland Security officials say an SUV carrying an undocumented immigrant trying to flee arrest first rammed a Border Patrol vehicle. Then the Border Patrol vehicle crashed into the SUV to stop it. Chicago police say a hostile crowd started throwing objects at federal agents who then deployed tear gas. 13 officers were exposed to it.
There's absolutely no reason to have this kind of chaos happening in our communities, putting people at risk, just exacerbating the fear that people feel right now.
The latest clash comes as DHS says Mexican drug cartels are now offering cash to target ICE officers and other federal agents. $5,000 to $10,000 for kidnapping or assaults on officers, and up to $50,000 for the assassination of high-ranking officials.
We're not backing down.
Damn, they're putting a bag on Esau's head, man. That's crazy, man. That's crazy, because now we live in the time of the internet. People's families are going to be at risk. I was just thinking, man, a lot of people, you know, it sounds good to start off with a $50,000 bonus, you know, but you got to have a moral compass, man. Not all money is good money. You don't know what Duck's doing on, you know, with you don't know what they're doing, man. You might think, I just need the money. I'm just going to take the money. And then next thing you know, you got cartels, different T organizations coming after you. Your face is on the internet, you know, and then Taliban, you know, who knows what kind of ops Esau got over here, man. All that shit, all those 8 wars that he supposedly stopped. We'll see, man. We'll see. Because all that's coming here.
President Trump and Secretary Noem are going to give our law backing down. President Trump and Secretary Noem are going to give our law enforcement the resources they need to succeed and clean up America's streets.
What is this girl going to do, man? What is she going to do, man? Okay. Yeah, you got an M16 and stuff, but you gonna shoot at your own people? You know, I think by the time y'all are probably gonna have the MOTB in you anyway, so you're gonna be forced to do things that you want to do without it.
And clean up America's streets.
The president today once again touting his crackdown on crime in Democratic-led cities.
Chicago, we've already made a lot of progress despite fighting from the government, but Chicago's doing great.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is now refusing to play a video of DHS Secretary Kristi Noem at airports where she slams Democrats. Johnson calling the video propaganda.
Gabe Gutierrez, we thank you for watching, and remember.
Crazy, man. That's Jacob's trouble right around the corner, man. If it's not already here, because they're already in your communities. They're already locking you up. They said that was a 16-year-old boy. All right, so they coming after us. We're getting close to that time. He got $20 billion. This is the politics behind the United States $20 billion loan to Argentina. So you can give them $20 billion, but you can't. All the things that you could do with $20 billion in the U.S., you won't do it, but you'll spend your money somewhere else. So this place is done, man. Place is through. Jeremiah 50, verse 1, and the word that the Lord spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet, declare ye among the nations and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not, say Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces. You know, the idols that you trusted in Babylon, whatever it may be, not something that you carved out, it's just what you trusted and believed in here, That's what's being confounded. You trusted in that you could your cities and your police and your government were gonna protect you against foreign nations, and that same thought is being used against you. Now they're coming up against you. Okay? That's what you get for trusting in an idol. Okay? Her images are broken in pieces. You know, you trust, what else did you trust in? You trusted that, you know, the food system, the money that you trusted in, all of that, your jobs are being taken away. That's all being confounded before your eyes, man. And it's the Lord confounding you, because he's the one who provided everything for you. He kept this place running and making sure you had a job and made sure you could pay your bills and things like that. Okay, but at the same time, no reverence. All that reverence, all that glory, who'd you give it to? Gave it back to Esau. But yet with your mouth you say you love him and do it, and he's tired of it, man. For out of the north there shall come up a nation against her, and this is talking about Russia. The Medes coming up, Medes and the Persians and the Medes coming up against Babylon, which the modern day Persians and Medes are the Babylon is the Russians and the Persians. For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate. And then during this time you're going to use these same nations to make this land desolate. And none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. So just like nothing's going to be inhabiting Babylon once it's destroyed. In those days and in that time, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping. They shall go and seek the Lord their God. And this is what we're doing. Okay, we're seeking our Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. They shall ask the way to Zion with the faces thitherward, saying, come and let us join ourselves to the Lord in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten. And that's what we're doing. Okay? We asking for the old paths. We trying to get back right with the Lord by keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments and being obedient. And if he gave us the ability to teach. All right? Going out, showing our faith by our works. Jeremiah 50 verse 6, my people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place, which is Jerusalem. You've forgotten your resting place. Okay, this is not your rest. According to Micah 2:10, this is not your resting place, so you're not supposed to get comfortable here. And when we see these things on the news, it should remind you that, you know, this ain't your resting place. But if you're still in 2025 not knowing who you are, man, that's not a good sign. Jeremiah 50 verse 7, all that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the hope of their fathers. So they devour you, and your adversaries say, we offend not. Okay, because you did sin against the Lord. Okay, and that's why they want to keep you in this perpetual state of sinning. So they have power to go into your communities this way, do whatever the hell they want. Keeping you in that perpetual sin. You're supposed to be blameless. Supposed to be keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. They started all that shit here. I started here in Boston. They want to start here. Our license plates say the Spirit of America. Massachusetts is supposed to be like a ideal state because, you know, super diverse. It's forward thinking. I guess you could say it's like a model society of what America's supposed to be like. You know, health care for everybody. You know, it's supposed to be the beacon of democracy. This is what it's supposed to look like. That's why whenever something has to do with democracy, they look at Massachusetts as the what should we do? You know, because you got Harvard, MIT, you know, highly intellectual people here that even since the beginning of this place, going back to the Civil War, you know, in slavery and how they spoke up, you know the abolitionists, they were from Massachusetts, or they came to Massachusetts. This is where they gathered and had those thoughts and those talks, and you know, brought you know, how they made it seem like we know that was just a transfer of going from one power to another, but pretty much going corporate, from private to corporate, by pretty much getting making you a different type of a slave, get you into the slavery that we have today, where it's not as you know, upfront whipping your ass, but it's like a debt-based slavery. Jeremiah 50 verse 8, remove out of the midst of Babylon and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be as the he-goats before the flocks. Be as the he-goats before the flocks. Jeremiah 50 and 8, meaning a command from God for the Israelites to flee from Babylon as it faces judgment, and to lead others out with courage like male goats leading a flock. Historically, this was a literal instruction to leave during the Babylonian captivity before the empire fell. In a spiritual sense, it's a timeless call for the believers to separate from sin and worldly systems, to follow a righteous path and lead others towards salvation. Now, this actually matches up with Micah 2 and 10. Okay, not to actually leave out of America, but have that mindset of understanding what the will of the Lord is, because this place is going to be destroyed. It tells you in 2 Peter 3 verse 10 to there's a certain conduct, a certain conversation you got to be in, knowing that these things are going to come to pass. There's a certain way you got to be. You know, some brothers are different. You know, we all trying to do our best. Okay, but the best thing to do is be occupied in these prophecies. You know, constantly, as much as you can, go over the scriptures. You know, you want to make sure you want to flip over every rock if you can in the scriptures, so you know, and you've seen it for yourself, in that you're firmly footed on Yahweh Shai. Jeremiah 50 verse 9, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. Just talking about the Medes, okay, or the Medes, which is modern day Russia, or the modern day Russians are the Medes, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken, their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain. So an arrow is talking about the thermonuclear missiles that the Russians are gonna shoot over here. Okay, and then that's pretty much it. Russia, the rest of these nations, the European nations, NATO, pretty much all these nations are going to come up against Babylon the Great. Jeremiah 50 and 10, and Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord. Chaldea is talking about Babylon, the elites. This place is going to be destroyed. Jeremiah 50 and 11, because ye were glad, because ye rejoice, O ye destroyers of my heritage. His heritage is Israel. And it's talking about the Lord. The Lord's heritage is the nation of Israel. Deuteronomy 32 in verse 9. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. Okay. So that's why you want to get spoiled. You're going to be destroyed. Because look at how you did his inheritance. You destroyed it. Even though he used you to destroy it. It's really he's doing all of it. But just like he's did in the past, he'll use a nation to take down Israel and then turn around and destroy that nation. That's how the Lord likes to do it. Kill two birds with one stone. He gets to punish Israel at the same time, destroy anyone who touches them. This is his will. He does whatever he wants. Okay? So it's better to be in line with his will than to come up against him, because coming up against him, you just get destroyed. You know, it's better that I'd rather be aligned, and hopefully I can help with the destruction. Jeremiah 50:11, because you were glad, because you rejoice, O ye destroyers of my heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass and bellow as bulls. Yeah, you're grown fat as a heifer at grass. Oh, man. A heifer. Big fat cow. Jeremiah 50:11 condemns Babylon for its pride and cruel celebration of plundering God's people, which are the Israelites, comparing the nation to a self-indulgent heifer and a neighing stallion. And I love, a heifer is like a female cow, showing that Esau, a young female bovine that has not yet given birth to a calf. When she has her first calf, she is then referred to as a cow. The term can also refer to the non-profit organization. Yeah. So a heifer is before she has the calf. Then after she has the calf, she's a cow. That's funny. Jeremiah 50:12. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. And Apostle Tahar and Gabar were going over this precept today, over the weekend at camp. And they were saying how this is talking about Great Britain's going to be sore confounded when it sees you get destroyed. They're the ones who gave birth to America. She that bare you shall be ashamed. And they're already ashamed, you know, because of, and they used a great example of how when Donald Duck went over there to talk to Keir Starmer, there was a whole group of protesters saying, how can you allow something like that to come into our country? And they don't even like Keir Starmer just for allowing him to come into the country. So as much as everyone else love him, it's not how he's faced out in the rest of the world. He'll tell you foolish people here, I should get the whole Nobel Peace Prize. That's all you hear. No, look what they didn't even give it to me. I can't believe they didn't give it to me. Can you believe that? I stopped 8 wars and blah, 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 blah. It's all propaganda. He knows what he's actually doing. He's meddling in everybody's business. Here it is, he won a Nobel Peace Prize. He just showed a video of him blowing up a damn little ass boat with overwhelming power. Okay, we see boats being blown up. Where's the proof of the drugs and that this, that, and the third that you claim? None of that's being proven, but destruction is. But he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. Okay? And a lot of people, they just believe propaganda all the day long. You need to be standing on something firm, or all these, especially when it comes to the internet. You know, there's a lot of stuff that, some of it could be AI generated. Some of it could be just full-blown lies and propaganda. You know, I try to grab precepts that highlight what, certain situation that's going on in the world, to try to bring forth the precept that I'm reading about. You know, more so than pushing Esau's propaganda. You know, but seeing police and that's on his mainstream media. Protests, ICE agents, them going into your projects, but it's all centered around you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. He got beef with China. He ain't rounding up the Chinese. He got smoke with the Russians. He ain't going in the Russian communities. Iranians live here too. He ain't attacking them. They feel safer here than they as much as they could be on the damn T list and still feel safer than you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And they probably look at you like, what's wrong with these people? You know, I love how certain people, when you talk to them and they're like, where are you from? And you say America, and then they're like, yeah, but like, where? You're like, Boston. And they're like, they just shake their head, man. No, like, where's the land of black? You know, like, that's what they really want to say. Like, what, you know, what part of Africa are you from? Like, people don't even know where y'all are from. And you don't know either. That's a shame. That is a shame, man. It's the worst thing I've never seen. And no one's ever seen anything like that. A whole nation of people that don't even know who they are is so fucking evil. It's the most evilest, demonic thing I've ever seen. And that's why he needs to go to jail. He needs to get destroyed. And I'm all for it. And that's what we offend not. Well, you better hope that this book is a fairy tale or you're going to be that's the best thing Esau can do. That's why he's fully given to be wicked. You're going to have to prove it. The Lord has to come down and just do something because he ain't never going to change. I already know that. We already seen it's 2025 and he did this today. Every single day, tomorrow, the Lord going to have him do something else. Okay. So this is an everyday thing and he's always had that perpetual hatred. What's that? Ezekiel 35. That perpetual hatred. Ezekiel 35:3. And say unto it, thus saith the Lord God, O behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. So this is a prophecy against Mount Seir, which is Edom, Esau. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus I will make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men in thy hills, and in the valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. The Lord's going to destroy Esau, man. He's going to destroy him. Jeremiah 50:12. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness. And that's talking about here in America, a dry land in the desert. This is going to be destroyed. Okay. Hindermost, latter, after part, the end. And this is the end of the world, the end of the earth. The hindermost. The after part, end. latter part, extreme part. Her end, adulterous woman, is bitter, the latter state of those whom she seduces. The end of the days, or latter days. Ultimately, it's talking about here in America. And it's pretty much talking about Esau. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. But it's talking about America. This is where he would be, ruling in the last days. Jeremiah 50, verse 13, because of the wrath of the Lord it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished in his at all her plagues. And modern day Babylon is Iraq. That's not destroyed. Where is Babylon? No. Where is modern day Babylon? Modern day Babylon, location of ancient Babylon, is in Iraq. I didn't mean modern. Modern day Babylon's America. Ancient Babylon is in Iraq, situated about 55 miles, 89 kilometers south of Baghdad, near modern city Al-Halal. The ruins of the ancient city are located in the Babel governorate, situated on the Euphrates River. So I bring that out to say that ancient Babylon still exists. This is not talking about ancient Babylon. I mean, we kind of do look at Babylon, Iraq as, because of all the wars and stuff, as a place that, you might not want to go to it, but it's still inhabited. Okay, but it says in Jeremiah 50, verse 13, because of the wrath of the Lord, which are these thermonuclear missiles, it shall not be inhabited. Ancient Babylon is still inhabited today, but it shall be wholly desolate. As a matter of fact, let's look at some news. And let's look at some news real quick and see what's going on in Iraq. Iraq news. No, not breaking news. Iraq news. One day ago, Iraq's prime minister issue is the root of the problems in the Middle East. So, there you go. It's inhabited. Jeremiah 50, verse 14, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow, meaning those who have thermonuclear capability. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she have sinned against the Lord. Spare no arrows. Pretty much empty out your whole armory on this place. Shout against her round about, she have given her hand, her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her as she have done, do unto her. So that's the vengeance of the Lord. This is what he's talking about in Ezekiel, the 35th chapter. Okay. This is the Lord's vengeance. Ezekiel 35 and 9, I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy city shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord, because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will even do according to thine anger, and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. Okay, so you're gonna see this destruction. Spare no arrows. Jeremiah 50 verse 16, cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest. For fear of the oppressing sword they shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land. You're gonna try to get up out of here, man. People are already starting to get the hell up out of here. Even other Babylonians, because they see all of this tyrannic, overreaching arm of the government, and they don't want to be a part of it. Cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest. Let's look this up. So, Jeremiah 50, a prophecy of divine judgment on Babylon, stating that both agricultural activities, sowing and reaping, will be halted, and foreigners will flee back to their own lands due to the oppressive sword. And that's what you're starting to see now. The sowing and reaping. Ain't going to be no more work for Egypt. That's what people come here for anyways, for work, for the American dream, to be able to prosper and all of that. They're not going to want to be here because of this oppressing sword. Let's grab that. What's that? Continual stroke. I think it's Isaiah 14:6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. It's talking about Esau, that oppressing sword. So for the fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land. Talking about a mass exodus out of here. And it already started. You know, you got the passport bros. This is all part of because of the oppressing sword. People are trying to find a better life somewhere else. Jeremiah 50:17. Israel is a scattered sheep. The lions have driven him away. First, the king of Assyria have devoured him. And last, this Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, have broken his bones. Okay, and that's what the Lord used. He used these heathen nations to scatter us. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will punish the king of Babylon and his land as I have punished the king of Assyria. So here it is, these two nations that he used to come up against Israel and Judah. Now, he's saying he's going to punish them. And I will bring Israel again to his habitation, going into Isaiah 14:1. The Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And he shall feed on Carmel and Bashan, and his soul shall be satisfied upon Mount Ephraim and Gilead. So that's talking about in the east, in Israel. Okay, going back to being blessed again. Jeremiah 50:20, in those days and in that time, saith the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought for, and there shall be none, in the sins of Judah, and they shall not be found, for I will pardon them whom I reserve. That's talking about it's talking about Israel. Ultimately, all Israel is going to be righteous, but it starts with the elect. The iniquity of Israel shall be sought for. So there's not going to be any iniquity within Israel, which is sin. You're not going to be able to find it. Okay, we're going to be righteous. No heathen going to have dirt. No Epstein files on the elect. No, none of that. All women going to be righteous. We're going to be everything we do is going to be righteous. Even to the heathen. Even to Esau. It's going to be all according to the law. We ain't going to break the law to punish Esau. He going to get where he deserved according to the law. Jeremiah 50:21. Go up against the land of Merathaim, even against it and against the inhabitants of Pekod. Waste and utterly destroy after them, saith the Lord, and do according to all that I have commanded thee. And Merathaim means double rebellion, another name for Babylon. So Jeremiah is talking about America in this precept. He's prophesying. and against the inhabitants of Pekod. I forgot what the word Pekod means. Let me get Maritime first. Double rebellion, another name for Babylon. Like I said. And it's talking about America. And that word Maritime, when you go into the root word 4751, it goes into bitterness. Okay, America, which goes back to Amargo Vespucci, and the word Amar goes into bitter. So America, within the derivative of the word, means bitterness. So this is how we know this is talking about America. That Jeremiah was prophesying against America. Pekod, visitation of people in the Babylonian army and a tribe in southeast Babylonia bordering Elam. Pekod. Waste and utterly destroy after them, saith the Lord, and do according to all that I have commanded thee. A sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth? And that sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. Okay? You're hearing the sound of battle in this land. Okay? And just the world, man. You don't hear the wars that are going on, still kicking off. That Russian war is probably more important than, is just as important what's going on in Gaza. They both is equally need to be stopped. You can't have peace, one or both of them at the same time, or one of them at a time, because the one in Ukraine and Russia, the Russians are going to expand. He's going to be a guard unto these other nations. Okay. And they're already doing public executions of people who were supporting Israel in that land. Okay, so listen, man. This is why you want to serve the Lord. Jeremiah 50, verse 23. How was the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How was Babylon become a desolation among the nations? The hammer of the whole earth is talking about America's military might. It's going to be cut asunder and broken because it's not going to be able to, it's not going to win this battle when it goes into the valley of Jehoshaphat. It's cut asunder and broken. How was Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Because it's going to be destroyed. It's prophesied to be that way. Jeremiah 50, verse 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. And how do you strive against the Lord? Coming up against his children. Okay. Oppressing his inheritance. Tells you in Isaiah 47. On the ancients hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. Isaiah 47:6. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. So you did them dirty. Okay. Have laid a snare for thee. Yeah, you gave me the snare ultimately is pretty much your pride, man. You know, when I look at it, it's like the Lord gave you his inheritance. You destroyed Israel, and then he ain't do nothing about it. So he allowed you to keep continually to oppress, to drive up the bill all the way up to the point where he destroys you. And thou art also taken. And because of your perpetual hatred, you kept doing it. O Babylon, and thou was not aware. You was not aware that he was going to punish you for your actions. Thou art found and also caught. Just like a snare does. A snare is supposed to catch you. And he caught you. You fell for it, Esau. And then most importantly, we're telling you to your face. And on top of that, you think you're going to repent? No, you're going to come down with great wrath. That's the crazy part about it. And then the Lord's going to lift up a standard and judge your ass. So that's the real snare. It's Israel. You really about to come down with great wrath, and like the Lord ain't going to do nothing. And that's too bad for you. Jeremiah 50:25, the Lord Yahweh will have opened his armory, which are these different missiles that you're seeing. Whatever nation got them. These different nuclear capabilities, different missiles, different technology that's going out, and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation, which are the thermonuclear missiles. For this is the work of the Lord Yahweh, power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. So he's showing you when these military parades go out. North Korea just showed you his, I forgot, the Hwasong 20 or something like that. Nuclear capability. And that's something new. Okay. Jeremiah 50:26, come against her from the utmost border. Open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left. So, like we just said, modern day Iraq, they got news. Iraq's prime minister, Palestinian issue is the root of problems in the Middle East. Okay, let's see what he has to say, as a matter of fact.
Our team traveled to Baghdad at a critical moment for Iraq and the region. I sat down with Prime Minister
Iraq, which is ancient Babylon.
Mohammed Shia al-Sudani for nearly an hour inside the Prime Minister's compound as the November 11 election deadline looms. We begin with the Prime Minister's view on the US brokered ceasefire plan for Gaza and why he thinks President Trump is serious about achieving peace.
This is straight from ancient Babylon.
Iraq has declared its support for the plan announced by President Trump, and we believe he is serious about achieving peace, and this is everyone's goal. Since the events of October 7th, Iraq's position has been clear: halting this war and adopting dialogue as the basis for resolving these disputes and conflicts. The Palestinian issue is the root of the problem in the Middle East, and it is time to find solutions through dialogue and respect for international institutions and agreements.
Right. Long story short, they got an operating government over there in Babylon. But this one, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to, that's how you know it's not talking about over there. It's not most desolate. It's not something that happened a long time ago. And modern day Iraq is not on the world stage like America is. When it comes to political means, he's even saying that he thinks that they can stop what's going on over there, in Gaza and stuff. He's not doing it. Jeremiah 50 in verse 27, slay all her bullocks, let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day has come, the time of their visitation. Yeah, just kill them all, man. Even the animals, the beasts, the people. Just like the same decree that the Lord had sent Saul to do. Jeremiah 50 verse 28, the voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Lord our God, the vengeance of his temple. Call together the archers against Babylon. All ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she have done, do unto her. For she have been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. Okay, so destroy her, recompense her according to her work. So this is how the Lord's going to repay Babylon according to its works with thermonuclear missiles. That's his pay. Tells you in Romans 6 and 23 that the wages of sin is death. So he's getting paid for a day and a half work. Romans 6 verse 23, for the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life through Yahweh Shai HaMashiach our Lord. Okay. Jeremiah 50 verse 30, therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Lord. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith the Lord, power Yahweh of hosts, for thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee. And I'm going to end it here. Lord's will, this was edifying. Shalom.